Welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Uyai and Nikan coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the major stories. President Buhari to brief successor on Nigeria-Comoros relationship. ADC endorses Peter Obi for president. Plus, Joe Biden pays surprise visit to Krev. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Thanks for joining us. First in the news this afternoon, President Muhammadu Buhari has vowed to place more emphasis on the existing good neighborly relations between Nigeria and the Union of Comor Islands. To this end, Buhari promised to brief his successor on the need to ensure a good relationship with the country. He spoke while addressing Azali Assoumani, the president of the Union of Comoros, the incoming chairperson of the African Union AU. Meanwhile, before departing Addis Ababa, Buhari thanked the island nation for being a good neighbor. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to Nigerians to remain patient as his administration takes appropriate action to mitigate the hardships occasioned by the controversial Naira swap policy. The policy, described by some as hasty, was designed by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to limit cash hoarding and vote buying ahead of the general elections, but has since given rise to Naira scarcity and violent protests across the country. According to a statement by the President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, Buhari made the plea in a video recording in Abuja. The President thanked Nigerians for electing him to be president for 2 terms and urged the citizens to vote for a good and reliable leader who is sure to build on the country's achievements.
Once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships.
Meanwhile, President Buhari has met with the Ethiopian Airlines Board Chairman Gimra Wake to exchange views on the operationalization of Nigeria Air. In a release by presidential spokesperson Malam Garba, Buhari said that it is a weighted decision by the Nigerian government to relaunch the national carrier. Wake requested the repatriation of the airline funds trapped in the country over foreign exchange challenges. The aviation chief hinted that the airline had plans to expand operations in the country with additional daily flight services to Lagos from Addis Ababa as well as Abuja, Addis Ababa. In the meantime, the president has called on African Union AU member countries to strengthen early warning systems to rein in conflicts in the continent. The president also charged all AU member states to ratify the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA agreement. Nigerian position and interventions on the issues were conveyed by the president during separate meetings at the 36th AU summit in Addis Ababa. Buhari, according to a statement by his spokesperson Garba Shehu, urged all member states, African Union countries and the Secretariat of AfCFTA to continue supporting the implementation of the Free Trade Area Agreement. Away from that, federal government says at least 38 local government areas in the northeast comprising Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states are contaminated with explosive ordinances due to the activities of insurgents in the region. According to reports, the federal government, through the humanitarian mine action, identified explosive ordinance risk as one of the challenges inhibiting the return and prolonged displacement of citizens in the affected state. The coordinator Humanitarian Mine Action Committee, Sadiq Shehu, stated that the threat posed by Entrepreneurial Operating System EOS had been documented in several national and international documents. He explained that insecurity in the northeast remained a big challenge as it had limited access to arable land for agricultural production. Meanwhile, the federal government says about 40% of the volumes credited to crude oil losses in the Nigerian petroleum industry are due to measurement inaccuracies and not theft. The chief executive NUPRC, Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed this in his speech at the Petroleum Club quarterly dinner in Lagos. Komolafe said the audit was to ascertain with accuracy the stolen volume of crude oil within the reference period, noting that the commission was committed to dealing with the issue or metering errors. He also stated that the commission, in collaboration with the various arms of the security forces, NNPC Limited and the host communities, had been able to suppress the trend of hydrocarbon value decimation. In education, Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has registered 1.6 million candidates for the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). The board said the sale of UTME forms would end on Wednesday, 22nd February 2023, following a one-week extension. Registrar of JAMB, Ishaq Oloyede, disclosed this in Abuja today while monitoring the registration of applicants at the Global Distance Learning Abuja. Oloyede was joined in the monitoring exercise by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, David Adajo. Recall that JAMB commenced the sale of 2023 UTME form on Saturday, the 14th of January, and was expected to close on Tuesday, 14th February 2023. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission has expressed hope that its cash request presented to the Central Bank of Nigeria will be met on or before Tuesday. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of its Committee on Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, said the Commission had earlier presented its cash requirement for prosecuting the forthcoming elections to the CBN. In face of scarcity of Naira notes in circulation, the Commission explained that though it does most of its payments through online transfers, some specific services have to be paid in cash. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Guild of Editors has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to deliver on its promises to conduct successful polls. The body also called on the security agencies and other stakeholders to live up to expectations in ensuring that the presidential and National Assembly elections scheduled for Saturday, February 25th, and the governorship as well as state houses of assembly polls slated for March 11 turn out successful. This was contained in a communique signed by its president Mustafa Issa and the General Secretary Iyobosa Unwagerin at the end of a meeting of its standing committee in Abeokuta, Ogun State. In politics, the African Democratic Congress has endorsed the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed for the February 25th presidential election. According to the post on the official Twitter page of the political party, the endorsement follows the formation of a coalition which aims to propel the duo to the highest office in the land. The endorsement was held at the River Plate Gardens in Abuja today. The coalition, which is made up of several star alliance partners such as Nigeria Mother for Good Governance, Fulani United, and League of Imams, among others, said they seek to create a formidable force for the Obi Dati ticket. Still in politics, the All Progressives Congress APC has suspended its Northeast Vice Chairman Mustafa Salihu for 6 months over alleged anti-party activities. According to a notice of suspension released by the party, Salihu had been associating with Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), a move the party feels might affect its chances in the forthcoming poll. Meanwhile, Salihu's ward chairman Abdulkadir Abdullahi Salihu was also suspended. Notices of the suspension were signed by Abdullahi Ahmed, Vice Chairman of the Rumde Ward, and Gaba Mohammed, Ward Secretary. In Africa, the African Union is organizing a national reconciliation conference for Libya in the latest reports to restore stability in the country. The chair of the African Union Commission, Moussa Mohamed, made the announcement at the end of a two-day summit in Addis Ababa. Meanwhile, the United Nations said that Libya's rival administrations had agreed on a mechanism to clear foreign troops and mercenaries from the country, but they have failed to come up with a timetable for their departure. Still in Africa, the African Union AU has reiterated its zero-tolerance approach to undemocratic changes of power on the continent. The union said it would maintain the suspension of Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali and Sudan, which are all ruled by military leaders following coups. The Commissioner for Political Affairs, Bankole Adeoye, said the African Union was ready to help those countries return to constitutional order and help democracy take root. On the foreign scene, Pyongyang said that North Korea has fired 2 rockets in a drill for a launcher capable of a nuclear attack, which could take out the entire air bases. According to reports, it is the second weapons launch in 48 hours after it fired one of its most powerful intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, to protest plans for increased U.S.-South Korea military exercises. The South Korean military said it detected the launch of 2 short-range ballistic missiles. One traveled 390 kilometers